All right, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Wrapping up our Wednesday practice, finishing off with our 2-minute drill. Really competitive out there today, and guys are healthy. Guys just played hard, played fast, and brought a lot of intensity. Still got to polish up every part of our game plan and every facet of the game. But with that being said, open to questions.
First question, Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Mario, you've typically said Tuesdays and Wednesdays are your heavy lifting days of getting a lot of work done. How has Tuesday being off maybe altered the schedule for you this week? And then what's left for you to kind of finalize or make a decision on before kickoff at 4:30?
Well, I think for us, the process just doesn't stop. It actually goes through the game. It really does, the preparation part of it anyways. And that was the strong message that we had for our players after. It starts with leadership, and it carries over to process. And, with that attention to detail and all the things that go with what we do to prepare for a game. So, yeah, Wednesday is big. It's kind of interesting because by noon on Wednesday, the physical part, most of the physical work is done, but there's still a lot to do, right? Our mental sweat day is really important. Our fast Friday is really important. Our walkthroughs at night on Friday are really important. So our game day stuff. So, yeah, there's still plenty to do, but we feel like we are very in tune with what we want to do from a game plan standpoint: offense, defense, and special teams.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, this has obviously been such an odd off season, but and we're not around the team. But how would you characterize the mood of the team heading into this first game here?
They're ready. They are enthused. There's intensity where it's time to hit somebody else. It's in a good way. Sometimes when you play against each other, practice against each other for a long time, guys start slugging around sometimes. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen guys just trying to compete, understanding that, it's going to take everybody. It's going to take everybody this year. So I just see a group of guys that a group that has a lot to prove. That's the best way to describe it. We have a lot to prove. We're a young group. It's time to go and find out exactly where we are as a team.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Stanford and Oregon have developed a pretty nice rivalry the last decade or so. You've now coached in a couple of these. Kind of what have you learned about the importance of these games, I guess, just in the Pac-12 race, but also the rivalry?
That these things it's a 15-round heavyweight fight, that every detail matters, every play matters. They are physical, but they're also explosive. Their roster really has had some really nice additions over the past couple of years, particularly at the skill position to match their physicality up front on both sides of the ball. So just a very talented team, two teams that whenever these two teams get together, this thing is a really physical ball game, and they've been close games just about every single year. So we're expecting their very best, and we expect the best from us. James
Crapia, the Oregonian.
All right, we've talked a lot about the various offensive linemen. Haven't talked a lot about Saleh, though. How has he improved this camp? How prepared is he at either right guard or right tackle?
Yeah, well, if I haven't spoken about him, I should have. I apologize for that because he's had a great camp, a great week. We expect him to be a tremendously impactful guy. Again, we're shuffling all those guys and as to where they are starting, but he has shown that he can play 4 of the 5 positions and play them very well. He's weighing about 329 to 331 pounds. He kind of goes back and forth. That is his optimal weight: athletic, physical, strong, smart, and it's his time. So he's ready.
AJ McCord from Coin.
Coach, you talked about how sometimes guys, when they go against each other for too long, it just gets too heated. But without a non-conference season, how have you tried to match the physicality and get them ready for an entire full conference heavyweight battle without the ability to have non-conference or get in game shape beforehand?
Well, even today we go 1s versus 1s and 2s versus 2s. That's always going to be a staple. Good on good physicality. And when I say good on good, I'm talking about 1s on 1s, 2s on 2s. Our service teams, our look teams, and scout teams, they're really good. They're really good. But obviously the level of speed and execution when the 1s go against the 1s, it's game-like. is what it is. And to maintain, your polish and being sharp throughout the course of the week, you have to go 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s, and that's what we've been doing.
Aaron Heisen, KWVA.
Yeah, with Autzen Stadium usually roaring with fans in the years past, giving you guys that energy, how do you think the team will step up to fill that void when you don't have 50+ thousand fans?
Well, you gotta, when you go to the hotel on Friday night, you gotta pack your juice, your energy. You gotta pack your Autzen vibe and everything that goes with it. All the passion, I'll pack it in your bag because you're going to be the one that's going to have to bring it on Saturday. We've practiced that. It's part of our program, as it is anyways, to have that type of intensity and energy in practice. And being a self-starter is critical in a year like this where fans aren't allowed, or at least not many fans are allowed to be in most parts of the country. So that's been our approach to it.
AJ Jacobson.
Coach, have you received any clarity from the powers that be regarding, like, is there going to be piped in noise during the games, and and how have you guys been preparing for that aspect of during the game?
Yes, sir. They refer to it as ambient noise. That actually goes up a few decibels whenever there's a big play, as it relates to the home crowd. And we have practice in it. We probably had 5 or 6 different days where it was game-like conditions, atmosphere as it relates to the noise, as well as the coaches in the box, so that our guys got used to it. And it really does make it feel like there's activity going on in the stands. So it was good to get used to. It was good that our guys saw it, and I think it's a great idea. It really does add a little bit to the game.
Eric Scopel.
Saturday, you mentioned that Cam and Spencer were dealing with some injuries. Curious kind of what your confidence level is in the depth you'll have there and the production you can get at tight end this weekend.
Very confident. Those guys, obviously, Spence with the different roles that he has played, that's no secret on tape. And certainly Cam has, spending the entire year just preparing for this coming season, just very confident, both guys, in the reps that they got in practice.
James Crapia. James, you there?
Yep, sorry about that. To Spencer and Cam question was one of them. Just to the testing front, Mario, to confirm, you said the rapid PCR would be there. It is. Do you have clarification? Did Lane County Public Health approve because they wanted 2 PCRs after a potential positive antigen? Will the rapid suffice if you have them with – I realize we're talking about really complicated stuff here, but they want 2 separate machines.
Well, I can count on you for those questions week after week. I mean, that's for sure. So,
well, this is the last one. It's just it just got announced Monday.
No, I know. I understand. Look. Today at this afternoon, we're meeting with the medical staff to determine exactly what that means. Because no, it's important. You're right, and I probably should know by now, but because there's a lot of moving parts to this, we consolidated everything in our meeting today so that there's clarity on it and that we're prepared to handle whatever it is that comes our way to have the most accurate data and have, again, the best scenario to keep everybody safe and play ball.
Matt Preem.
A couple of your players throughout fall camp highlighted areas that they've actually enjoyed because of the adjustments you had to make because of COVID. And I'm just kind of curious if it's not beneficial areas, more time in the gym or watching more film or more time in the facility. Have you found positives that you'll carry over when the pandemic is gone, whenever that is, to a normal season?
Well, I think so. I think because since you have to create the testing windows and then you have to create that, you stagger the times that guys lift or when they meet. So it probably adds like 45 minutes to your day, but it's 45 minutes of prep time, right? We've all been young, right? When we had to be at a certain place at a certain time, and we preach early is on time. So guys are really trying to get here early and handle all their business. But this actually adds another buffer of time for them to take advantage of our sports science center and our trainers to get their bodies activated and loose before we start practice, which prevents a ton of injuries, a ton of soft tissue injuries. It gives them some more time around the building as they're watching film. And I think it's really neat because it's that much more time where you get to hammer protocol around these guys. And, they've done a great job. They've done a great job, and so has the staff. And you got to keep it going, right? There's no turning it down. Things haven't changed. So I think those things are different. The part that certainly you don't love is that you don't get your camp hours, which are, they're I wouldn't say double, but they're probably close to your 20-hour weeks. And that's the part that, you don't love about the scenario that we had this year. But all in all, we're appreciative of the situation, circumstances, and the solutions.
Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News.
Coach, typically opening games, you see a few more mistakes, whether it be false starts, offsides, things like that. Have you guys been tracking mistakes during practice the last couple of weeks? And where do you think they are in prep, here a few days out? Everyone wants to play mistake-free football. Where are your guys on that?
Yeah, we actually have had officials at every single practice since we have started. Every single one, including today. And I know the coaches get upset and the players get upset, but we have an understanding with the officials. If it's even close, call it. Make us that much better technically and fundamentally. Make us that much better from an alignment standpoint as well. The illegal procedures, the illegal formations, lining up offsides, right? The great block that just maybe had a tug at the last second that brings back a long run. If you don't create a heightened sense of awareness and urgency as it relates to those things, you will have multiple issues. So we do our best to really light those things up during practice so that our guys learn and understand the importance of playing football the way it's supposed to be played.
And for two more, Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Mario Amador, I guess he's going by Didi now. His decision to opt back in and take, I guess, some leadership there. That cornerback group, obviously a lot of youth there. What have you seen from him this fall camp from that regard, and then kind of his importance this Saturday against the Stanford receiving corps that you guys are really high on?
Yeah, well, I see a guy that I feel is going to be one of the best, if not the best, corners in the country. I'm not saying it because I love the guy. I'm not saying it because he's an Oregon Duck. I trust my eyes in the way that he is practicing, the way he has developed, the way he has just absolutely attacked the processes regarding his betterment, his development, the game plan. And I see a guy that's physical, that's hungry, that's driven, that's humble, and that's really eager to get out there and play some football. I'm really excited about this guy. I'm really excited about him. Always have been, but there's just a different gear that has kicked in, a different level that he is going to, and I look forward to seeing him on Saturday.
Question, James?
Mara, how different is the Stanford defense personnel-wise, not only in the guys who you knew they were losing, but when David announced this yesterday that Reed's out, that Kelly's out, when Adebo opted out, how do you even look at the cornerback position when those guys just haven't played before and they don't even to a man they say they don't even know who they're going to start necessarily?
Well, I think a lot of teams will say that going into a game, but I follow everybody and how they recruit and what they recruit, and I study depth charts and where guys are at. I know there's a lot of guys on this roster that we recruited hard. I see a lot of length, a lot of speed, guys that would be starting just about anywhere else in the country. So we don't see a drop-off at all. We certainly don't see it as an opportunity to let down. In fact, it's the opposite. We think they're going to replace those guys with players that are just as good or better, and we look forward to seeing their very best.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Okay, guys. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great day. Be safe.